Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome here to beautiful Japan. We're live in the city of Ota at the Ota Citizens Gymnasium in the GUNMA Prefecture. Currently, it's an Eastern Conference fixture between the GUNMA Crane Thunders and the CHIBA Jets. Oh, this game, of course, has so much importance. GUNMA Crane Thunders looking to get into the B-League as a top 2 seeded team here in the Eastern Conference, while CHIBA Jets right behind them in 3rd place in the Eastern Conference with 2 victories just shy of catching up to GUNMA. Well, we're actually in the open house arena of the city of Ota, and of course, GUNMA. These fans had their hearts broken in which they had a very close game last week on Wednesday against Utsunomiya Brex, the team that sits right above both CHIBA and GUNMA. But tonight, they're going to try to make sure they get the big win to put a bit of separation between them and the Jets. Well, there you can see the Jets fans making the journey from the Funabashi Prefecture just outside of Tokyo, a team that's had a lot of expectations to try and make sure they come up with a B-League championship. The last time CHIBA were crowned kings of the B-League was back in 2021 when they defeated the CHIBA Jets in the final. Well, there are your standings. Of course, the 2 top teams of each conference will automatically qualify for the B-League playoffs, while the final 2 positions will go to the teams outside the top 2 with the best record. Well, if you look at the wildcard factor, that indeed would be Mikawa Seahorses and CHIBA Jets, both expressing very strong records at the moment. But that will need to change. As you can see, teams trying to follow them up as now we're in the second half of the 2024-25 B-League regular season. Well, already you can see Utsunomiya Brex look like they're going to qualify for the B-League playoffs along with San and Neo Phoenix. Both teams have the very best record, while in the Western Conference, it's the champions of 2023, the Ruku Golden Kings, being followed up by Shimane Susanoo Magic, and what is going to be a very exciting end to the 2024-25 B-League season. Wait, look at the head-to-heads already between these 2 teams. So far, CHIBA winning the record at the moment, having defeated GUNMA twice already. Last time these 2 teams met, of course, were on the 15th of December, in which GUNMA did get their first victory on the road at the Lala Tokyo Bay Arena. Well, the new home of the CHIBA Jets has been a magnificent, minimum opus of how the B-League is progressing. Let me tell you something about professional basketball in Japan. It is now becoming the fastest growing professional basketball league, international domestic league that is, within the world of FIBA hoops. Well, the exponential growth of B-League basketball is down to many factors. Not only do we have great import players, but we have the very best Japanese players as well. And tonight you're going to see some of the very best. The first ever $1 million player from Japan, and that being Yuki Togashi. Our head coach Trevor Gleason knows he's got a very talented team with 2 national team players in the likes of both Yuta Watanabe and Yuki Togashi. But also look out for the likes of rising superstar Sagawa. Well, only 18 years of age, but he's really coming into his own this season. And this team, of course, exposing and expressing some key players that were in the championship team back in 2021 with the likes of Shuto Hara. But here is the last game for the CHIBA Jets. Well, the CHIBA Jets had a very successful game last week when they took on the Saga Ballooners. They won 85-71, and as usual, they were led by one Christopher Smith, who had 20 points. Well, DJ Hogue, of course, who's only just joined this team, had a very successful campaign when he played in the French Pro LMB for infamous club Cholet, while John Mooney, now in his, I would say, 4th season playing here in Japan after having a successful time playing in the Australian NBL with the rejection right there. While Mooney posted good numbers, John Mooney did finish with 15 points at the end and 12 rebounds, a very successful double-double. But he knows tonight he's going to have a very tough matchup. While GUNMA, as mentioned, their game last week saw them take on Utsunomiya Brex. And they were led by one Trey McKinney Jones. And unfortunately, when they were down by 10 points with under 10 minutes to go, they almost came back and could have won that game against the Brex. But it just wasn't meant to be. We'll have a look at those highlights very shortly. And that's Christopher Smith, 31 years of age at the moment, standing at 193 centimeters. That's roughly 6'4", originally from Sacramento, California. A man who, very much like DJ Hogue, started in the lower tier of French basketball in Division III and Division II, but now has become one of the premium continental players here in the Japanese B-League. Well, we're going to introduce the key players in the starting lineups of both the CHIBA Jets and the GUNMA Crane Thunders, and then we'll introduce the coaches and referees as we're now moments away from tip-off. Yuta Watanabe, of course, started his B.LEAGUE debut season at home in the Lala Tokyo Bay Arena against the Brex. Came up with a horrific ankle injury. And you can see the starting lineup. DJ Ho, Jean Mooney will be partnered alongside the likes of Shuto Hada, Togashi, and Watanabe. That's a very strong Chiba Jets starting lineup. And the Kings of Funabashi tonight coming to the Gunma Prefecture to try to get within one game of their rivals, the Gunma Crane Thunders. Well, now we'll introduce the key players, starting five of Gunma Crane Thunders. And as we take a look at the statistics, we also are going to enjoy the local entertainment as we get set to introduce these very two good teams. I think if you look at the stats there, the one difference that does separate these two teams, of course, has been the three-point shooting from the Chiba Jets. Well, Chiba, one of those teams, very dominant, of course, from the perimeter. But could that be the X factor tonight that helps them get within one victory of Gunma here in the Eastern Conference? Remember, both Gunma Crane Thunders. Here's some highlights of their game against Utsunomiya Brex. Well, this is actually highlights against the Sendai 89ers. Because Gunma's been very good so far here at home. And there's their FIBA Basketball World Cup champion, Johannes Timmer, and the mighty Zeus. Tatsuski, of course, a very dominant team inside the paint. And one thing you should know about Gunma, their head coach, Kyle Milling, was a post player back in his day. And last season actually led Hiroshima Dragonflies to their first ever B.LEAGUE championship as they defeated the Ruku Golden Kings in 3 games at the Yokohama Arena. And there's Trey McKinney-Jones in the throwdown against the Brex. Well, this team knows they can compete against the very best. But for Gunma, it's about doing it for 40 minutes. Head coach Cal Milling is going to have to heavily depend on the likes of Trey McKinney-Jones and Ko Flipping, who's also probably one of the very best defenders here in the B-League. There you can see his face on the screen. A 2-time B-League champion. Won it with the Chiba Jets back in 2021, and he won it again in 2023 with the Golden Kings. Could he be on his way to becoming the first ever B-League player to win 3 B-League championships with 3 different teams? That is going to be very interesting to find out. Well, other key players you want to look out for, the likes of number 9, Naoto Tsuji, and their point guard, veteran player Yuma Fuji, while 43 years young veteran Michael Parker will be coming off the bench. And you also saw Alan Hachimura, number 8, the younger brother of the great Rui Hachimura, who currently plays in the NBA. A FIBA World Cup champion, won that Basketball World Cup in the Philippines in 2023, defeating Serbia in the final. But now we'll introduce the starting 5. So now we will indeed enjoy the local entertainment.
World Cup champion.
Well, again, everybody, we'd like to welcome you here to the city of Otashi in the Gunma Prefecture, as now we're going to introduce Gunma Crane Thunders, our host team's starting 5 tonight. And if you are watching live on B.LEAGUE International, please let us know where in the world you're watching this game. Also, let us know who you think will win, and give us your name so we can give you a shout out and give this B.LEAGUE International live stream between Gunma Crane Thunders and the Chiba Jets a like, and make sure you subscribe to B.LEAGUE International on YouTube. Well, there's a veteran player, Yuma Fuji. Who got a landmark in the last game against Utsunomiya Brex, also played for Kawasaki Brave Thunders. Well, interesting here, Kyle Milling is going with his veteran player, Michael Parker. 43 years young. The final player is Trey McKinney-Jones will be the go-to player tonight. He will play small forward tonight here for the GUNMA Crane Thunders. Well, interesting, Caleb Tatsuski will be the big man inside, while the final player to be in the starting lineup will be Kazuki Hosokawa. Hosokawa, of course, had that game winner against Shimane Susanoo Magic back in the calendar year of 2024. But remember, as good as this team can be, they're only a 28% three-point shooting team. And when you go up against a plus 40% three-point perimeter shooting team, the Chiba Jets, that could be the difference tonight between how these two teams play. Well, head coach Kyle Milling made a name for himself as both a professional player and coach in France. He played for the great Alain Bonnet and also coached the great Limoges CSP. And also played for the Hitachi Sun Rockers back in the early 2000s. Well, our referee, you can see, Daigo Urushima. And let me tell you something about Daigo Urushima, a FIBA international referee. You've probably seen him referee international games from FIBA Basketball World Cups, Asia Cups, Olympics. And no doubt we'll see him this coming summer at the 2025 FIBA Basketball Champions League Asia. And that goes to show the great quality of Japanese referees we have here in the B-League. Well, a key matchup, Yuma Fuji, number 0 for GUNMA Crane Thunders. He'll have to match up against Yuki Togashi, the first ever $1 million Japanese player. DJ Hogue will have to defend Trey McKinney-Jones, while John Mooney will go up against the brute force and strength of Caleb Tatsuski. Watanabe, that's going to be an interesting matchup. Yuta Watanabe will be going up against Michael Parker, the former NBA player with the Phoenix Suns, while Shita Hara will have his hands full tonight with one Kazuki Hosokawa. And again, welcome everybody watching live on B.LEAGUE International. Let us know where in the world you're watching this game so we can give you a shout out and which team will win. Will it be GUNMA or will it be the Chiba Jets? Let's get this one underway. Well, GUNMA getting the first possession. Trey McKinney-Jones going from the mid-range. GUNMA's got to try to make sure Trey McKinney-Jones does become the focal point of their offense. But defensively, they're going to have to really play tight against Chiba. So Togashi, nice pass, finds Mooney, goes in, and he misses. Well, Tatsuski with the denial. That's good defense. And now they go for an early three as Hosokawa unable to finish. Well, Chiba have numbers. Hada fakes the pass, goes in. No foul called. Well, now the foul is called, but it's called against Chiba. Well, two good opportunities for the Chiba Jets. One in transition. Here's the first one. Look at the dive coming from Togashi. Because that time finding one John Mooney. The double-double he had against the Saga Ballooners. And that's trademark play from Togashi, but Mooney's got to finish. Well, the foul was called against John Mooney. GUNMA still looking for the first points. And another turnover. Fuji unable to keep it under control. Watanabe, his time gets fouled, and now he will go to the free throw line. Well, the foul is on Caleb Tatsuski. That's a great take by Yuta Watanabe. The three stretch four. This is debutante season now here in the B-League. Well, that's always going to be an interesting matchup to find out defensively who's going to have to play. Now, they do have Michael Parker, but 43 years young. You think that's going to be a tough matchup, and probably Watanabe's going to take him on the perimeter as he misses the first free throw. Well, the fans try to put off Watanabe. Second free throw is going to count. Well, we'd like to welcome already Darlene McFall-Smith, Sacramento, California. Goes in the house. Go Chiba Jets from Team Smith. Oh, Christopher Smith, let me tell you something. When he gets on the floor, the alarm bells are going to be ringing from the GUNMA Crane Thunders. Trey McKinney-Jones. Third attempt coming now for the GUNMA Crane Thunders. Unable to convert. The team still looking for that first field goal. Watanabe penetrates. Loses control. And it's another Jets turn. No, wait a minute. That might have taken a deflection, so I believe Chiba may get this back. I don't know. I think that should be GUNMA ball. How interesting does it? Oh, they called a foul. Okay, so I got it wrong. So Yuma Fuji getting penalized for the foul. And another one's going to be called against GUNMA. Already 3 team fouls here in the first minute, 28 seconds. So something GUNMA can't afford to do is get into foul trouble too early. In that case, Yuma Fuji, poor communication with Kazuki Hosokawa. Ten here on the shot clock for Chiba. Togashi penetrates. Puts up a floater, can't finish. GUNMA come up with it. Neither team able to get a field goal here in the first, just under 2 minutes. Back to Tazuski. Pocket, nowhere to go. That's another GUNMA turnover. So we played 1 minute, 54 seconds, and only one free throw separates these two teams in the moment. It's interesting, you see that both coaches, very good coaches, both Trevor Gleason and Kyle Milling, starting their best players on the bench. Now, granted, GUNMA does have Trey McKinney-Jones on the floor, but Hara goes in, and the first field goal going to the Jets. Well, the assist coming from DJ Hogue. Fuji now uses the screen. Tazuski. We'll go for a third three. This one's up, and finally getting something from the perimeter. And it took 3 3-point attempts. A team that only shoots 28% from the three-point line. Is that going to be the way they're going to compete tonight with the Chiba Jets? Remember, Jets currently 2 victories behind GUNMA here in the Eastern Conference. Now Togashi fires. Another offensive rebound. Watanabe teardrop, still can't finish. But again, Chiba comes up with a 50-50. Nowhere to go. Defended by Hosokawa. Well, good hands by Parker. Goes out of bounds, but Jets will get it back. 5 here on the shot clock. Well, both teams, you can see offensively, just trying to build some rhythm, build that identity. I think that's a good no call in my mind. Watanabe trying to find an opening. Pulls up from 15 and gets his first field goal. 3 points already now for Yuta Watanabe. And hopefully we're going to see him play for Akatsuki Japan, the national team, this summer at the FIBA Asia Cup. Because he did play in the last one in Indonesia. Fuji left uncontested. Another 3. Tazuki battles to the offensive board. I think GUNMA is going to retain this. Fuji just may have hesitated when thinking about taking that three-pointer, but hey, if you're wide open, you've got to pull the trigger. Trey McKinney-Jones finds Parker. Well, too many passes, goes in, and sharing is caring as GUNMA now getting something inside the key. Well, you may have felt the overpass at one, but now Togashi coming off the screen. Second three-point attempt, no good. GUNMA looking to take the lead for the first time. Kazuski finding Trey McKinney-Jones. Back to the big man. Twisty goes in, post move, and again, finishing. Well, he's got to be more confident. Too many times, Caleb Tazuski is very much a pass-first big man, but he's got to be able to cement that back-to-the-basket post play. That's easier said than done because John Mooney is one of the best post defenders here in the B-League. Nice pass, finds Mooney, goes in, too strong, and another missed attempt. GUNMA looking to build a 2-possession lead. Parker may have got away with the travel, goes in, but at the moment, GUNMA have a 4-point lead. Well, he's asking for the foul, but I think he's lucky that he got away potentially with a walk. Well, Mooney finds Hara. Hara gets his own rebound. Second time Shuta Hara's made a cut off the ball inside the lane. He's just had a wide open look. GUNMA's defense needs to tighten up. But great play by the Jets. Now we reach the halfway mark here in the first quarter. Fuji goes for another 3, and that's the 5th attempt. For a team that's only 28% for the perimeter. Well, okay. Darlene, look who's just entered play. Sacramento born and bred. Also checking into the game is Ren Kanichka, Japanese national team player, while Johannes Thiemann, the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup champion, with one Dennis Schroeder. Naoto Tsuji, veteran 35-year-old, as well as, well, quite a lot of changes come for GUNMA as Ko Flippin also into the game. Well, veterans coming in left, right, and center. Fumio Nishimura is also subbed in. Winning offensive rebound, tying the game up at 9 apiece. Second chance points going in favor of the Chiba Jets. It's not a bad play between Trey McKinney-Jones and Johannes Thiemann, but very well defended by the Chiba Jets. Well, if you are new to Japanese basketball, and if you're new to the Chiba Jets, that man Christopher Smith, let me tell you something right now, number 34, he's a certified walking bucket. Quick three goes up, and another one now falling. Naoto Tsuji hitting the second one of the game for GUNMA. Well, GUNMA are a heavy volume three-point shooting team, there's no doubt about it. Extending that lead back to 3. Kanichka now finding Watanabe. Time winding down. Kanichka, Pickett, Popeth. Defensive rebound by Smith. Finds Kanichka, goes in and cutting it down to a 1-point ball game. Well, team has got to get careful. This will be called for a 3-second violation. Misses the attempt. Smith now on the perimeter. Puts up a teardrop, and he'll go to the free throw line. Well, he's just such a tough player to defend, Christopher Smith. Because he led the Jets in that victory last Wednesday against the Saga Balloonas. But now it's going to be an exciting matchup against both him and Trey McKinney-Jones. Both free throws good for Christopher Smith, giving the Jets a 1-point lead with just under 3.5 to go here in the first quarter. And they're patiently passing the ball around. Jets in a man-to-man defense. Now we're under 10 here on the shot clock. Teaming down the middle. Kicks out. Get a 3 in the corner. It's up, and again, beautifully iced away by Ko Flippin. Well, defensively, he had a great game against the Utsunomiya Brex. Unfortunately, he had 2 open runways where he missed both a layup and a dunk. But that didn't decide how that game went, but take nothing away from Ko Flippin, a fantastic player, a 2-time B.LEAGUE champion. Watanabe mid-range, tying the game up 15 apiece. Well, Utah's got to have between 20 and 30 tonight if the Jets want to win. If they want to get within 1 game of GUNMA here in the Eastern Conference, remember, top 2 teams automatically qualify for the playoffs. Neither of these 2 teams want to be wildcard factors. The unlikelihood of catching up to the Utsunomiya Brex. Tsuji tries another one. Make it 3, number 4 now for GUNMA. They are on fire. We'll have to go on 1 for 5 to hit the last 3 in a row. GUNMA at the moment flying with confidence. They've got no fouls to give here in the first quarter. Smith goes ISO, and again, makes it look easy. Dr. Christopher Smith. Well, first field goal of the game. If you go back to that performance he had against Hiroshima Dragonflies only a few weeks ago, I mean, there's a reason he's going to contest for a B.LEAGUE MVP this year. Offensive rebound. Second chance points now this time is Hachimura showing the tenacity. Well, for neutral fans, you want to see this game go right down to the wire. This could very well be a B-League playoff matchup between two very good teams. There's now 18 seconds to go in the first quarter. Smith ISO. Kicks out, finds Mooney. Jump hook, and both teams exchanging buckets. 4 points now tonight for John Mooney. This is coming from Christopher Smith. Trey McKinney-Jones. This time's the pass, now finds Cole Flippin, who only has 6 here on the shot clock. Flippin's got to put up a tough one. Can't finish. Smith comes up with it. Jets looking to regain the lead. Smith goes all the way, and he'll go back to the free throw line. Nice take by the man, the king of Sacramento. Well, if you compare the depth of these two teams, I mean, both of them have great depth along the benches, but, you know, you compare the caliber of players, I mean, it's fair to say CHIBA probably has a more talented team individually. But a new coach this season, along with new star players, they've got to find a way collectively to get to the finals and win that second B-League championship. It's been almost 4 seasons since they lifted the B-League championship in Yokohama when they did defeat the Utsunomiya Brex. Suji tries another three. Are you kidding me? GUNMA have come out like a house on fire. 5 threes already here in the first quarter. And now Tosuji is simply unconscious. Well, now Smith dribbling it down for the final possession. Trying to get something here for the Jets. Well, there's a final shot, and Smith goes for it, but he's unable to finish. And now, well, no, I think has a foul being called? No. Well, that will do the end of the first quarter. GUNMA, due to their three-point shooting, do have the lead at the moment here against the CHIBA Jets in what could very well be either a B-League playoff matchup or, who knows, even a B-League finals matchup in Yokohama. Well, we're going to take a short break for 2 minutes, and we'll return for the second quarter. But if you're watching this game live on B.League International, please let us know where in the world you're watching this game and which team are you supporting. Are you supporting the Jets, or are you supporting, indeed, the GUNMA Crane Thunders? Well, welcome to FIBA Fanatic. Is Hachimura related to Rui Hachimura? Yes, indeed, he is the younger brother. And welcome to Soji, as well as welcome to Darlene McFall-Smith watching this game from Sacramento. Welcome back, everybody. Second quarter on the way. Currently a 2-point lead here, too, indeed. GUNMA Crane Thunders as CHIBA Jets fighting for second chance points as DJ Hogue now getting in the action. Well, welcome to Kane Milling, watching from Serbia. Let's go, Kyle Milling and the GUNMA Crane Thunders. Well, Kane, are you related to Kyle Milling? And also, how come you're in Serbia? Love Serbia. One of my favorite places to travel to, Belgrade. I think an offensive foul is going to be called here against Alan Hachimura. Well, Dosti Arif, is the rim smaller? No, I don't believe so. I think it's FIBA regulation. Dosti Arif, where are you from, my friend? Let us know. Where are you watching this game? As Alan Hachimura getting called for the foul. And there is the great Kyle Milling. Because he is a legend in French basketball. Came as an import player to France back in the 90s. Played for some of the great teams such as Hier and also played for Alain Bonnet. And was a great coach when he was with Limoges CSP. And he's actually a B.LEAGUE champion. Last season, Kyle Milling won the B.LEAGUE title with Hiroshima Dragonflies. CHIBA now looking to retake the lead. Nice penetration. And there's a bump. Unable to finish. Steven secures a rebound here for GUNMA. Well, again, welcome back, everybody. We're live here in the city of Ota in the GUNMA Prefecture Eastern Conference matchup between second best and third best. Team in pick and pop. Goes off the bank and extends the lead back to 2 points. Well, welcome to Byron, watching from Pilipinas. Maligayang pagdating kaibigan. Kamusta po? Well, great take by Smith goes in. Well, this is why I call him a certified walking bucket. This guy can create his own shot. He'll take the three, he'll play the point, and he can post up, no doubt about it. Well, what a move by Christopher Smith. Well, a question from Ray Huang. Which players come from Taipei? 我不知道，他们不有这个男人是台北人，不知道，对不起。我的中文不非常好。Oh, Connie Milling, I think I saw you last summer in Dubai. Which team are you playing for in Serbia, bro? Let me know. Well, it's going to be a turnover. Because now here come the Jets. Well, Dosti Arif watching from München, Germany. Guten Tag, wie geht's dir, mein Freund? Ich verstehe Deutsch. Oh, we also got fans watching from Indonesia, so welcome, of course, to Mahardika Dharana. Well, Dosti Arif supporting Johannes Thiemann. Auf geht's Deutschland. You gotta love it. Germany, the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup champions. There's a three in the corner. It's up and now. CHIBA Jets through DJ Hogue with a 2-possession lead. 5 points tonight here for DJ Hogue. And a timeout's going to be called by Kyle Milling. Let's have a look at the replay here. Well, good reaction from Chris Smith identifying DJ wide open. That's a good thing about DJ Hogue and why they brought him into the team this year so far. I mean, he is such a versatile player, no doubt about it. Well, timeout's been called. We will return in just under 1 minute. Again, if you're watching live, let us know where in the world you're watching. We got fans from Germany, Deutschland, Dosti Arif. We got fans from Indonesia. Ray Huang watching from Taipei. Kane Milling, father of the great, that man there, the legend Kyle Milling. And Kane, let me know which team you're playing for in Serbia, bro. I'm really happy for you. Your father spoke a lot of great words to you when I met him last time. And your father's a hell of a person, too. Very good friend of mine now. Welcome to Olivier Roman, watching from France. Bonjour, bienvenue, mon ami. Je ne parle pas français, c'est très difficile, mais personne n'est parfait. Mais si vous aimez enfant du basket CSP Limoges, c'est aussi proche que possible. Well, the timeout was called by Kyle Milling. I think one thing he's got to be aware of is that his team, being a 28% three-point shooting team so far this year in the Japanese B-League, they cannot afford to live and die from the three-point line. Now, they've got some great post-interior play with the likes of Johannes Thiemann. As I mentioned, a 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup champion, also played for MRP Riesen Ludwigsburg when they made a Basketball Champions League Final Four in 2018. So they're a very balanced team, but they've got to learn to evenly distribute the scoring tonight. Just over 2 minutes played here in the second quarter. Fuji's made 1-3 tonight. Make that number 6 here for GUNMA. Well, GUNMA, their principal, they'll keep taking the three-point shot tonight. An easy penetration right to the bucket. Well, great work by young 18-year-old Sagawa. Now, he played this summer at the FIBA Under-18 Asia Cup Championship in Jordan. He wants to put the world on notice with his great performances. And it's great to see, you know, the young domestic Japanese players coming through the lineup. Foul's going to be called here. I think the foul indeed is going to be called against young Sagawa. Fantastic. We've got the Milling family watching from France. J'ai du mot. Allez Limoges. Je suis un grand fan de le grand CSP. Connie Milling, you play for Vršac. I love. You got to learn some Serbian, bro. Serbia is one of my favorite countries. I love my trips to Belgrade, no doubt about it. Well, welcome to Shane, watching from Tasmania as well. So great to see so many fans. As Sagawa now picking up his second personal foul. 3 minutes played here in the second quarter. Well, Fuji went for the obvious pass as a turnover, and now Chiba have numbers. Smith looking for double digits, and again, finishing in transition. Well, Dusty Arif, good question. Who's winning the B.LEAGUE championship, in my opinion, this season? Well, that's a tough one because, you know, San and Neo Phoenix is a three-pointer no good at the moment for Johannes Thiemann. I mean, both San and Neo Phoenix and Utsunomiya Brex had the best records last year, but they were eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. I couldn't tell you. If I'm going experience, my guess would be either Brex as a three-pointer made, now making it an 8-point ball game. Jets flying as DJ Hogue hits another one. My gut always goes with experience. But then again, I could be wrong because last season, and this is where I always pay homage, and I know he's a friend of mine, but Kyle Milling is probably one of the best international coaches because he defied all the odds. Everybody thought Ruki was going to win it. Suchi goes for another one. And right now, GUNMA failing to get offensive boards. So to answer your question, who do I think is going to win it? I couldn't tell you. It's going to be tough because when you get to B.LEAGUE playoffs, it becomes a different animal. You know, Ruku Golden Kings, they went through a 3-game series against Alvak Tokyo, who are heavy favorites in the quarterfinals. Then they defeated the Chiba Jets in the semis after losing Game 1 by plus 30 points. And after winning Game 1 in the final, it was Coach Kyle Milling's team, the former team, Hiroshima Dragonflies, who came back and completely obliterated the Golden Kings in Games 2 and 3 in Yokohama. So it's anyone's game, I would say, when it comes to playoffs. Sorry for the long answer, Dusty Arif. Nice penetration. Smith now pump fakes. Off the dribble, goes for a tough contested three, unable to get it. Fuji may be getting away with a push in the back on that one. But GUNMA with a chance to chip into a deficit. Trey McKinney-Jones contact, but he doesn't get the ad one. He'll go to the free throw line. Well, this is much better from Trey McKinney-Jones. Hasn't quite got that mid-range game going that he usually likes to go for. But this time just attacking the bucket and putting Chiba Jets post-interior play under pressure. Well, Trey McKinney-Jones, international fans, originally he's from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, went to Kansas City, then he played at the University of Miami. And Dusty Arif, I think you may remember Trey McKinney-Jones in the year just before the global pandemic, actually played for Telekom Baskets Bonn in the German Easy Credit Bundesliga, one of my favorite pro leagues in Europe. Well, Trey McKinney-Jones also spent a brief bit of time playing in the NBA with the Indiana Pacers, then went to the G League. Of course, also played for the Chiba Jets in 2018-19. Returned to Japan in 2020 after that brief stint in Germany when he played for Telekom Baskets Bonn. 6-point ball game, just over 5 minutes. Tagashi penetration, no help side defense, but Parker comes up with a rebound. This is what GUNMA likes to do. Trey McKinney Jones going coast to coast, can't finish it. They come up with an offensive board, but the three no good. Wasted opportunity there for GUNMA. It's now run to 5. Tagashi tries to throw the lob. And again, Fighting Irish Notre Dame John Mooney finishes. And it's back to an 8-point ball game. And Kyle Milling of GUNMA Crane Thunders calls timeout. Well, we're going to take a short break. We will return in just under 1 minute. Yeah, Dusty Arif, experience always comes to factor, but listen, you got to go back to 2022-23 because Hiroshima Dragonflies, they lost to the Chiba Jets in the first round of the B.LEAGUE playoffs. Now, what happened in their fortune, I would say, is they had a tough start to last season, but what Kyle Milling was able to do with his players was a key change. They brought in Chili Nafawe, who's a naturalized Japanese player originally from South Africa, and that changed the fortunes. And of course, when they went into the playoffs, well, let me tell you, when it was the finals, Hiroshima, they were unstoppable. Well, we'll return very shortly. Again, if you're watching this game live, let us know where you're watching. And please, if you can, give this live stream a like. Well, welcome to Brian, currently watching in Michigan in the United States of America. It's currently now with just under 5 minutes to go here in the second quarter, with the Chiba Jets currently have an 8-point lead. Remember, this is an Eastern Conference matchup. The top two teams in all conferences of the East, West, and Central will automatically qualify for the B.LEAGUE playoffs. Final two teams to make up those positions will be the wild card. Best teams with records outside the top two. Trey McKinney Jones, mid-range. Of course, having his struggles very early on. But one thing about Trey McKinney Jones, he's one of those players that can light it up at any point in the game. We saw that against Utsunami Brex last Wednesday here. Well, good defense by Tazuski. And now here comes GUNMA. But they turn it back over again. Now Jets, numbers. John Mooney goes in, Eurostep, misses from point-blank range. GUNMA built some, momentum on offense. This time the foul's called, and you can understand John Mooney's frustration. I mean, I didn't quite get... I have to see the replay on the previous one, but that's how the game of basketball goes, unfortunately. Let's have a look here. Is that contact? Oh, no, that's a good no call. There's no argument there. I mean, John Mooney's a great player, no doubt about it, but I don't think he has an argument, unfortunately, on that one. Another three. Can he get number 7? GUNMA going ice cold now from the perimeter. Neither team with any fouls to give. Well, welcome to Kasper, watching from Poland. And another Chiba turnover. Another foul's called, and the problem is this sends Ko flipping to the free throw line, so great chance for GUNMA. We're seeing a bit of a lackluster, barren spell at the moment. Neither team able to really build anything offensively, but Chiba, too many costly turnovers. Oh, cześć, dzień dobry to our friend Kasper watching from Polska. Ja kocham koszykówki polskiego, and welcome to Dapentol watching from Indonesia. Terima kasih, sama-sama, baby. Well, I think a timeout's going to be called. 3:33 to go. These two teams will talk it over. Well, EU Wonder, you have no... That's a wild claim, dude. Come on. Just yeah. Anyway, timeout. We'll be back in under a minute. EU Wonder, they sell lives down the road. Go get one. Well, free throws coming up for Ko Flippin. As mentioned, two-time B-League champion as he missed the first one. And a former Chiba Jets player. The first time he won a B-League championship was in 2021 when he was teammates with Yuki Togashi. Second one good. 7-point deficit. 3:33 to go here in the first half. And they can see former teammates. You gotta love it there. Ko Flippin up against his former... Well, they're both point guards, but you know, they probably had some great battles and practices when they were teammates. Now a foul's going to be called against Michael Parker. So free throws coming up here for DJ Hogue. Well, welcome to Arif Suyatno. I assume you're watching from Indonesia. And you better be a Pelita Jaya fan. I'm telling you right now, brother. You wonder, I'm just playing, bro. Welcome to the live chat. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. You can even call me a bad commentator. It's all good. I've been called worse. Well, great addition this season for Chiba Jets. DJ Hogue has been a phenomenal player for them. Of course, one of the more remarkable seasons he had is when he played in France for the great Cholet, a team that once played, or had a player on the team called Rudy Gobert. Was a very experienced, very well-traveled international basketball player. 9-point lead currently to Chiba. Tazusi going in, missing the layup. Well, you gotta finish that, big man. Nice pass. Togashi finds Mooney this time, throws it down. And with 3:01, Chiba have their first double-digit lead of the game. Well, look at the dime. Well, hit. He's got to finish this one. Gotta finish. You gotta dunk it, big fella. Come on, Zeus. But look at this sublime primetime dime coming from the first ever $1 million player from Japan, Yuki Togashi, finding former Notre Dame player, John Mooney. Well, timeout has been called. As mentioned, we'll be back in just under 1 minute. Question I've been asked, are you in real GUNMA Arena or watching? I'm actually commentating this game in my wife's home city of Da Nang in Vietnam. Which, yeah. Enjoying the local tropical weather. Usually I commentate these games back home in London, England, but now we're visiting family. You wonder, are we going to have this all game long? Are we going to have all this? Come on, bro. Come on. Enjoy the game. You got the great Cal Milling, who was a fantastic player back in his day, a B-League champion with 2 teams who are potentially going to compete for a B-League championship. Show some love, bro. Come on, EU Wonder. Come on. I know you can do it. Well, shout out to Edward James, watching from the Philippines. Hey, Trong, xin chào. Bạn khỏe không? Hôm nay anh đi ăn phở. Anh không nói tiếng Việt. Xin lỗi anh. Well, welcome to CSK 2698, watching from Ukraine. Welcome, my friend. Welcome, everybody. Now we're under 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter. It's Trey McKinney-Jones now. Almost got him. It's Trey take here by Ko Flippin. Need to find this rhythm. Another mid-range. Just a little bit off here. Gonna struggle against the defense of the Chiba Jets, no doubt about it. Well, welcome to, well, there's the lob pass. Good interception by Zeus. That's now 5 turnovers here in the second quarter for the Jets, but they still have an 11-point advantage. Hosokawa pulls up baseline. Finally gets one. Can't get down to single digits. Ai Chung bữa của đội là người Việt. Bây giờ chúng tôi xong ở Quảng Nam về Đà Nẵng. Turnover. DJ Ho failing to keep that one under control. Great defense by 43 years young Michael Parker. That's a backcourt violation, yeah. Well, Hogue not naturally a point forward. I think that's why Christopher Smith is coming back in the game. He is going to be a contender, Christopher Smith, for B.LEAGUE MVP this year, no doubt about it. Oh, too obvious. Good defense by Togashi, and now here come the Jets. Leaded by 9. Smith off the bench. 3 is up. Just needs to get the blood moving a bit, but usually that's going to be knocked down by Smith. But GUNMA's got a chance. They got to cut into the deficit. Tazuski, help side defense. Misses. Tip back is good. And that's why the Bigs, they're in the second field goal tonight for Michael Parker. They've got to find ways to get Zeus into the game. Caleb Tazuski, known by the Japanese local fans as the great god of Zeus. Zeus with the good hands. Shutahara penetrates. And they've got away with the travel. Now Mooney failing to capitalize in the mid-range. But this is good for GUNMA with over a minute to go, down by 7. Well, patiently trying to build something. As Hosokawa getting the screen from Tazuski. Trey McKinney-Jones probably should have gone up with that one. Goes out of bounds, but GUNMA will get it back. With now 2 seconds left here on the shot clock. Under a minute here in the second quarter. Probably Trey McKinney-Jones should have taken this one, but at the same time, you've got both Christopher Smith and John Mooney there. Well, no, Yuta Watanabe protecting the paint. Well, they've got to go quickly. No time to waste. Hosokawa, catch, shoot, 3. He's on that phenomenal game winner against Shimane Susanna Magic earlier in the season. Now Smith got it by Trey McKinney-Jones. Jones has got 1 foul. Togashi trying to take on Fuji. Nice pass again. Finds Mooney, goes in. This time he gets it. And John Mooney's going to the free throw line for the 3-point play. Again, it's that pick and roll scenario. The dimes from Togashi simply are too much to handle. And they've got to figure out a way how to defend Togashi on the pick and roll. Second foul against Parker. So now Johannes Tieman's going to come back into the game. Well, Kyle Milling just having some words there with Tazuski. Yeah, that's a great coach-player relationship because Kyle Milling very much played a similar role as Tazuski back in his heyday. And that's one thing, if you ask any pro player, any great pro player that's played for Kyle Milling, they'll always have great words to say about him, and that's a key thing. Not only is he a great basketball mind, but he probably has some of the best player-coach relationships. And I've spoken to a lot of players in Europe and Asia who played for him. 8 seconds difference. Game and shot clock. Fuji finds Trey McKinney-Jones. Foul's going to be called against Smith. So free throws coming up for GUNMA. Well, this game very much looking like it was last week for GUNMA when they went up against Utsunomiya Brex. All 3 teams hold the top 3 positions here in the Eastern Conference. As Ren Kanichka subbing back in. You talk about great coaches. I mean, there's a man who's worked in the NBA, the G League, the Korean Basketball League. Trevor Gleason, also a fantastic coach as well. It's another missed free throw here for GUNMA. Got to make these. Final 14.3 for the Jets. Second one good. As now it's Yuki Togashi. I'm going to ask the question. Iba Nanji. Nanji Deska. Finds Smith. Smith, three. Got it! And C. Smith, the king of Sacramento, drilling the final three-pointer here in the first half as the Jets have a double-digit lead. Well, I was going to say Nanji Deska. Is it Togashi time? No, sir. Christopher Smith stepping up big time. And now we'll do the end of the first half here live in Ota in the GUNMA Prefecture. B.LEAGUE basketball between the GUNMA Crane Thunders and the CHIBA Jets. Well, we're going to return for the second half in just under 20 minutes. Go get a drink, go get something to eat, but don't go anywhere too long as we'll return momentarily.
The amazing Thunder Girls and Sandaku. DJ Iso.
Well, welcome back, basketball fans. We're live here in the city of Ota for this Japanese B.LEAGUE game between the hosts GUNMA Crane Thunders and CHIBA Jets, an Eastern Conference matchup as second place GUNMA hosting the CHIBA Jets in third place. Well, the Jets, of course, right now currently leading by 12 points down to the three-point shooting of Christopher Smith. I mean, Smith is having a game of games here at the moment, leading the way with 14 at the moment here for CHIBA. Well, interestingly, Jets have only converted 3 out of 9 from the perimeter, but it's been the post-interior play where they've been very dominant. John Mooney showing the tenacity going in for offensive rebounds. Well, rebound-wise at the moment, collectively, GUNMA have 16. Only 5 of them have been offensive boards. 5 also in favor for the Jets, but they have a collective total of 19. But one worrying sign here for CHIBA has been unnecessary turnovers. Well, GUNMA do have 7 collectively, but 12 assists has been the instrumental focal point of the offense. The three-point shooting, of course, in the second quarter was very good. I'd say the first quarter, actually. Naoto Tsuji coming off the bench and like a house on fire, the 35-year-old veteran. But here's the man that's just too dominant. Simply indestructible, the king of Sacramento, California, Christopher Smith. It may just very well be challenging this season for the B.LEAGUE Most Valuable Player Award. Well, that was DJ Hogue, the former Cholet player in France, the American international. Of course, playing his role here tonight. Well, there's something I know Cal Milling has probably addressed his players. Listen, if we're open, we got to take the threes, but we cannot live and die from the perimeter tonight. That's got to be the key focal points. They've got to find other ways to score. Well, that was Smith in transition, and when he gets in the open court, well, if you don't foul him, he's going to finish. But look at the dimes. The pick and roll scenario between both Yuki Togashi and John Mooney. That has been a tough thing for GUNMA to defend. But the dimes in transition. Togashi, eyes left, right, and center. This man knows how to pick out a pass. The first ever $1 million Japanese player. Well, there was the final shot. Smith, that three-pointer took his tally up to 14, giving the Jets the 12-point cushion. And having only made 3 three-pointers, a team that is a very good three-point shooting team. I mean, they shoot above 40% from the perimeter. Tonight, they only have 3. Well, the Jets getting to the free throw line a lot better so far this evening. Only 11 turnovers collectively. GUNMA do have 7, so they've got to prevent those turnovers if they want to come back and win this one. Because the standings in the Eastern Conference, as I mentioned, GUNMA Crane Thunders in second place right behind Utsunomiya Brechts. The Jets are in third place. Now, if that was to stay the same with these current records, both teams would be in the playoffs. But it really, when you get to playoff time, you want the home court advantage. Of course, it's been a terrific season for GUNMA Crane Thunders, getting a championship coach in Kyle Milling. That dream run in the playoffs they had last season, defeating Ruku Golden Kings in the final at the Yokohama Arena. And remember, whoever wins the B.LEAGUE this season, the championship that is in Yokohama, will then feature at the Basketball Champions League Asia, FIBA's premium continental competition that sees the best teams from both the East, Central, or both, I should say all, East, Central, and West Asia. Well, the points in the paint have been too dominant. That's the key difference. Jets have just had too many good looks inside the key. 30 points in the paint as opposed to only 10 coming from GUNMA. That's got to change for the home team. Because GUNMA as well, they've given up 8 points from the turnovers. And only 2 fast break points for GUNMA as well. 7 have gone in favor and 18 bench points for CHIBA Jets. 3 players already in double figures, as mentioned, led by Christopher Smith. No one for GUNMA in double figures. Naoto Tsuji, that's Yuma Fuji right there. He has 6 points tonight with his 2 3-pointers. Well, it was a tough defeat for them last week against Utsunomiya Brechts. They came very close. It was 1 offensive rebound they could have got. They would have given them 1 last possession. But now we begin the second half. GUNMA, a very good team that know how to make comebacks. They almost made it against the Brechts. Fuji now being heavily defended. Finds separation. Mid-range not going to go. As Hara now towers for the rebound. Well, welcome to Kawaii Potatoes. Quite a regular here on B.LEAGUE. He's a great B.LEAGUE fan. Or she, I'm not quite sure, but Jets unable to forget the first 2 points of the second half. Well, these early moments are going to dictate how this game could very well end up. GUNMA's got to find some rhythm. They've got to find a way back in this one. Asakawa finds a three. It's up. Again, no good. Well, CHIBA can really take advantage of this game, especially in the open court. Togashi finds Ho, goes in, avoids the block, but he misses the layup. Trey McKinney-Jones able to secure the loose ball. Neither team have scored yet here in the second half. And there's Fuji again. And finally gets one. That's going to be a three-pointer. And that's his third one of the game. Well, that's one way to try to get back into it. That cuts it down to single digits. It's going to be the seventh three-pointer of the game now for GUNMA. But is it going to be something they're going to live and die by? Hara's got no time left. And an offensive foul against Shuto Hara. Great defense by Yuma Fuji. Fuji may have just taken a bullet train on that one. Let's have a look at the replay. Oh, great defense. You could look at that very subjectively, maybe make the point it could have been a block, but I'd say that decision's the right one. But it could have gone either way. Trevor Gleason. Because when you talk about another great coach, NBA, G League, KBL experience, well, we got great coaches on both sides. GUNMA again looking to try to fight their way back in this one. Down by 9. Just over 2 minutes played here in the third quarter. Parker looking to give this one up. Two very natural post players in the lineup, not a natural power forward. Trey McKinney-Jones going in like George Gervin. And I'd like to call that a finger roll. And as I said in the first half, Trey McKinney-Jones, one of those players, can turn it on and off whenever he wants. Lead down to 7 points. 5-0 run. CHIBA looking for their first field goal here in the second half. As Togashi gets a three. First field goal of the game for Yuki Togashi. Relatively quiet one tonight for Japan's $1 million player. Tazuki finds Fuji. Made his last three. Not going to get this one. And GUNMA unable to come up with offensive rebounds. What a dime. Ho goes in. Foul's called. Counted. He's going to the free throw line. As CHIBA now look for their biggest lead of the game. 12 points tonight for DJ Ho. But again, let's see the replay. Well, this is Yuki Togashi. Trademark sublime primetime dime in the full court. That's only the second missed free throw of the game for CHIBA. Still their biggest lead of the game at 12 points. Right where we were at the beginning of the second half. Trey McKinney-Jones at 5 points. Again, no offensive rebounds. And you've got two very powerful post plays in Tazuki and Parker out there. I like how Millie's gone about this. Another three. Togashi gets fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. Well, every great player that's a three-point shooter, all it takes is one for them to be inspired and find that confidence. And the thing about Togashi, he'll run circles around ball screens all day long. And that's going to be a third foul against Yuma Fuji, so he's going to have to go to the bench. Well, Yuki Togashi currently at the free throw line, originally from Niigata in the north of Japan, the city that's home to the infamous Niigata Albirex, the oldest professional team in Japan. Because he actually played his high school basketball in the USA in Maryland at Montrose Christian. Started his pro career with the Akita Northern Happy Nets. Now, he did play in the G League for Texas Legends and actually spent preseason playing in the Italian LBA with Dinamo Sassari before coming to Chiba Jets in 2015. Makes all 3 free throws, 15-point lead, biggest margin of the game for the Jets. Remember, if Jets win tonight, they won't overtake GUNMA Crane Thunders, but they'll be within 1 victory of cementing the 2nd place in the Eastern Conference. Flippin penetrates, finds Parker. Much better play by GUNMA. Well, they only had 10 points inside the paint at the beginning of the second half. They've got to find balance in their offense, but now they're going to have to defend. Hogs hit a few threes. Can't get this one. Zeus with a rebound. Well, they get the switch on defense. Watanabe matching up with Zeus. Now flipping. Takes his time, mid-range. Sinks that one. That's back to an 11-point deficit, so a 4-0 run coming. And a little bit started by Flippin. One with the assist, now with the bucket. GUNMA's got to get this to single digits. Hogue penetrates. Watanabe, step back, 3 is up. 3 is good at CHIBA with the 2nd tray ball here in the second half. Watanabe now with 8 points. Foul's going to be called. I believe this one's on Watanabe. That's going to be the 2nd team foul against CHIBA here in the 3rd quarter. Oh, my apologies. No, that's not on Watanabe. That's on Shutahara. So Hara threw an elbow at the face. It's quite a reckless, dangerous play, if you ask me. Johannes Tiemann, only 2 points, is subbing back into the game. Low and now Tosuji. Trey McKinney Jones bumps, goes in. Draws a foul, so he'll go to the free throw line. Not quite sure who drew the foul on. Now we're under the halfway mark here in the 3rd. I think that's on John Mooney. Yeah. Unlucky not to get the ab 1. Oh no, it's on Smith. Well, I guess Smith must have come in and just put his hand on the top of the head of Trey McKinney Jones. The 3rd missed free throw now for Trey McKinney Jones. Well, free throw is one of those that, you don't want to look back in the game and think the outcome could have been different. Now, they've missed 3 free throws collectively as a team, and they've all come from Trey McKinney Jones. And another one. Well, could be a 10-point ball game. But every great player has got to fight through it. CHIBA in total control of this one. Togashi's made 1 3. Gets another one. Could it be Togashi time? A timeout's going to be called by GUNMA, as now they trail by 17 points against the CHIBA Jets. Well, we will return in just under 1 minute from this timeout. 4:44 to go in the 3rd. Togashi, ima nanji, nanji desu ka? It is Togashi time. Sellout crowd tonight here in the city of Ota. Again, this has been the exponential growth of Japanese basketball, the fastest growing domestic professional basketball league in the world, the B.LEAGUE. You never find an empty seat at any arena at this level of pro hoops in Japan. But GUNMA's got to find buckets. Team now trying to post up against Mooney. Turn around, goes in, and finishes with a sweet post move. Well, I thought I saw a question in the live YouTube chat. Was he teammates with Dennis Schroeder when Germany won the Basketball World Cup? You bet he was. Another one goes flying. Flippin comes up with a rebound. GUNMA down by 15. Well, nice dump down, finding Johannes Thiemann, and off gets Deutschland. Dankeschön. 4 points already here in the second half. 6 in total for Johannes. He cuts it down to 13 points. Third best in the East, currently up against second best. GUNMA trying to get into the B-League playoffs. Time winding down. Togashi nowhere to go. Watanabe puts him up prayer, and that's going to be a 24-second violation. Great defense by GUNMA. Well, Chiba's had this issue many times this season where, they've built very big leagues, but then with the big leads they have built, they've at times become very complacent. You can't do that against a team like GUNMA Crane Thunders. There's a reason GUNMA, number 2 in the Eastern Conference. Now Naoki Sagawa, subs into the game. The 18-year-old. And there's Naoki Tashido. Of course, won the B-League Championship in 2023 with the Golden Kings, defeating the Chiba Jets in the final, and also defeated Chiba last season in the playoffs in the semifinals. Now we're under 3.5 to go. Steven got it by Hope. Trying to go for a post-up. Another 3 goes flying, it's up, and again, 7-0 run coming from GUNMA, and a timeout's going to be called by Coach Trevor Gleason as his team see this 7-0 run of momentum coming from Kyle Milling's players. Another 3 made by Naoki Tashido. Oh, Naoto Suji, my apologies. Well, great post-up, drawing the defense away on the curl screen, finding a wide open Tsuji. 4-3 of the game for the 35-year-old veteran. We will return in just under 1 minute. Oh, we have a slight delay in game. Daigo Udashima, I think he's going to give, I'm not sure if a foul was called there. Our referee, Daigo Udashima, a FIBA qualified referee, is officiated at FIBA Basketball World Cups. And also, if you're watching this game live, make sure you get ready for this summer's FIBA Basketball Champions League Asia. The champion of the Japanese B-League will partake in that competition. So foul was called against Ko Flippin. Tashido now heavily defended by Naoto Suji. Naoto Suji now trying to put Tashiro under pressure. The foul is always going to be called there. So I think we've been asked the question in the live YouTube chat, is Alan Hachimura the brother of Rui Hachimura? So yes, he is indeed the brother of the NBA superstar from Japan. Second foul against Naoto Suji. Final seconds. Sagawa trying to isolate. Almost turned. That's going to be another 24-second violation. Great defense by GUNMA. As now CHIBA Jets choking under intense pressure. Well, GUNMA have no fouls to give. And without Yuki Togashi on the floor, they don't necessarily have that go-to player to put the ball in the hands of. And as well, they got Christopher Smith, but if I'm CHIBA, time's winding down, you've got to go to Christopher Smith. He's the go-to certified walking bucket. Seaman trying to go for a post-up. Bump it. Kicks out. Well, they had the three. Didn't go for it. Flipping goes to the short mid-range. Team an offensive rebound. Can't finish. A great defense by DJ Hogue. Now Watanabe spins. Wedgie time. Whoa. Sugoi. Well, here's a great penetration by Yuta Watanabe. You think he's going to finish this one. And in the end, goes up for it. Kore wa nan desu ka? Well, majide. Well, you don't see that happen too often. Well, things back in the way. Now it's going to be a jump ball scenario. Possession arrow going in favor of the CHIBA Jets. GUNMA no fouls to give. Another foul committed on a three-point attempt, so free throws coming up here for Christopher Smith. And that's now the third time GUNMA's given away a three-point shooting foul. That's a good call. That was always going to be given. Second foul against Trey McKinney-Jones. Smith has been relatively quiet here in the second half, still leading. All scores of 14 points, now has 15. Shots to take his tally up to 17 and potentially give CHIBA that 13-point cushion. Remember, we could see these two teams play each other in the B-League playoffs. Who knows, maybe in the B-League finals. And if you're new to the B-League, all teams make up 3 conferences, East, West, and Central. Top 2 teams automatically qualify for the playoffs. Final 2 playoff positions go to teams outside the top 2 with the best record. And even if we were to stop now and the playoffs were to happen tomorrow, both CHIBA and GUNMA would be in the B-League playoffs. Smith unable to hit the third free throw. 12-point lead to CHIBA Jets. CHIBA's got 1 foul to give. As now we almost hit the 2-minute mark. Suji pump fakes. Finds flip it. Nowhere to go. Good defense by CHIBA. Final seconds. Teeman's got to go up with it. Teeman doesn't look at the bucket now. I'm going to call a 24-second violation because I don't think he got the shot off in time. Well, I've just seen the comment now. GUNMA keep giving away too many three-point shooting attempts. Well, you got to also remember, take into consideration, CHIBA coming into this game are a 40% three-point shooting team. That's why, with players like C. Smith, 19 points, the king of Sacramento, extending it back to a 15-point ball game. Flipping nowhere to go. GUNMA's got to try to get it down to single digits before the fourth quarter. Trey McKinney-Jones, step back 3. Just can't get it. Goes out of bounds. And the Jets will get it back. Well, Edwards James said, who in the hell is Kiana? Sorry, I just don't. Who is that? Well, Yuma Fuji, the former Kawasaki Brave Thunders player, coming back in the game. He was 50% tonight from the perimeter, along with Caleb Tazuski. Over a minute to go, 15-point lead to the Jets. The team who had the expectations of being B-League champions this season, right now with the lead against second-best team in the Eastern Conference. Oh, down low, nice dive, finds it. It's going to be a goaltending violation. And that potentially could be a 2-for-1 here for the CHIBA Jets. Well, nice dime. That time finding Naoki Tashiro. Jets need to get one stop so they can get the final play of the third quarter. Fuji penetrates. May have got away with the travel. Back to Tiemann. Tiemann down the middle. Goes in. Contact. Counted. Auf geht's Deutschland. Well, the 2023 FIBA Basketball World Cup champion, much more productive here in the third quarter. Simple pick and roll play. I think that foul's going to be against Christopher Smith. I don't know if that's Smith's second or third personal. That's third personal, so final 33.4 left. Unlikely he's going to pick up another one here. Tiemann converts a three-point play, and now the 2-for-1 potentially could go in favor of GUNMA if they get a stop. They don't have any fouls to give. They don't want to send CHIBA to the free throw line. Now Sagawa finds DJ Hogue. Tashido, three in the corner. It's up. No good. And now GUNMA. Final play here in the third quarter. Fuji trying to come off one bull screen. Step back. Huge three is up. No good. Zeus offensive rebound. Should have gone back up with it. And it will be the CHIBA Jets who indeed have the 14-point cushion going into the fourth and final quarter. We will return in under 2 minutes for the final 10. Welcome back, everybody. We're live here in the city of Ota in the GUNMA preference for this game in the Japanese B.LEAGUE between our hosts, GUNMA Crane Thunders, and the visitors, CHIBA Jets, where currently the visitors do have a 14-point lead as we head into the final 10. Well, if you are new to Japanese B.LEAGUE basketball, these two teams play in the Eastern Conference. Top two teams in the East, West, and Central Conferences will automatically qualify for the playoffs. Final two playoff positions will go to teams outside the top two with the best records, known as the Wildcards. Last week, GUNMA Crane Thunders, live here at home, lost to Utsunomiya Brex, the team with the #1 record here in the Eastern Conference. While CHIBA, back home in Funabashi, winning against Saga Ballooners. Well, only 2 games separate, or 2 wins separate these two teams. CHIBA in third place, GUNMA in second. So if CHIBA wins tonight, they won't overtake GUNMA. Fouls called. Getsia one. Well, that's a good way to start the fourth and final quarter. And that is Naoto Tsuji's first field goal that isn't a three-pointer tonight. Veteran player, 35 years of age. The foul is on Naoki Tashido, the former Ruku Golden Kings player. And a chance for GUNMA to cut it down to an 11-point ball game. Tsuji converts a three-point play, 15 points tonight. GUNMA trying to put on some full-court pressure. Sagawa, heavily defended by Hachimura. Sagawa pump fakes. I don't know if an offensive foul was called there, maybe. Not a great start for CHIBA here in the fourth quarter. And Trevor Gleason just telling his players, calm down, let the momentum come to you guys. We have the lead. Tsuchi's made a few threes tonight. Doesn't get this one. Good job on the rebounds by Tashido. Oh, they're going to call that one? I think this is a traveling violation. There's the first one, yeah. I think that's a travel. They call this a continuation. I think they have, yeah, it's an +1. And Smith converts a three-point play, third foul against Naoto Tsuji. Back to a 14-point ball game. Nice play down low. Gets rejected. Well, DJ Hogue said, not in your house. That's one way to protect the paints. Well, Chiba looking to extend and pile on more misery. Gonna need good defense. And there they have it. The killer with a stop, but now they've got to find ways to score. Down 14, just over 8.5 to go here in the fourth quarter. Fuji kicks out. Team now fires a three. Again, buries this one. It's back to an 11-point ball game. 12 points tonight for big man Johannes. Almost 2 minutes played here in the fourth quarter. Both teams looking to get into the postseason. Very much will get there with the records they currently have in the B-League so far. Now Hope, got it by Tazuski, step back, can't finish. Smith, big offensive rebound, still can't finish. Well, team just does enough there to prevent Christopher Smith getting the second chance points. Team now finds Zeus, bumps, goes in, gets the +1, and it's back to single digits with 7:39. Could the comeback be underway? Team just making the right dime at the right time. Sagawa getting called for the foul. The pick and roll working better now here for GUNMA. Well, third foul against Riku Sagawa as now Yuki Togashi comes back into the game. As well as Shutohara, who only has 4 points tonight. Relatively quiet night for Shutohara. And John Mooney, so the reinforcements have been reintroduced for the Chiba Jets. Tazuki converts a three-point play. 8-point deficit. Oh, good defense, forcing the turnover. Could the game changer be underway? Teeman's got a mismatch. Defended by Tashido. There's a pass. There's a three. It's up. No good. Well, that would have cut it down to a 5-point deficit. Now Chiba can try to slow this one down. Here comes Togashi. Finds Smith. Togashi time. Now we're on a 10 on the shot clock. Togashi, step back, three is up. Ima Nanji. Nanji desu ka? That is simply Togashi time. Extending it back to an 11-point ball game. Does Fuji know where to go? Offense very static at the moment here for GUNMA. But Teeman now again, trying to go in the paint. Step through, got it by Hara, and again finishing with the brute force. Great footwork there by Johannes Teeman. Still a single-digit deficit. Togashi heavily defended by Hachimura. Has to put up a Hail Mary. Well, that had a little bit too much arc. Almost snow came down with that one from Mount Fuji. I think a foul's going to be called here against Chiba. That's going to be team foul number 3. Well, in all 4 quarters we played so far in this game, Chiba never got into the penalty or put GUNMA into the penalty quick. 3rd foul against Tashido, so he'll go to the bench. And you look at the depth as Yuta Watanabe re-enters play for the Jets. Now we're on the 10 here on the shot clock. Fuji, contested 3 is up. See an offensive board, goes out of bounds. That should be GUNMA ball. And that's going to remain GUNMA Crane Thunders. Well, they just haven't quite had the same success on the perimeters that we saw in the first quarter. .547 left. They almost made that comeback against Utsunomiya Brex last Wednesday. And they almost got that offensive rebound that would give them one final chance. Tsuji defended by Hara. Good hands by Smith, forcing the turnover. It's now Watanabe. Jackson, no need to rush anything. Smith in around the defense, draws another foul, and another and one for the King of Sacramento. C. Smith, too big, too strong, and simply just too good. I mean, he's got the basketball IQ of a genius, the skill set of an NBA superstar, and he's as strong as any basketball player you're ever going to have to defend. 2nd foul against Tarzuski. Converts a 3-point play back to a 12-point deficit. Jets try to hang on. Another kick out. And the 3-pointer. Another turnover. Hachimura didn't quite know where to go for it to kick it out. But GUNMA down by 12. And again, Togashi penetrates. Good hands on defense. Smith, final seconds, fires up another 3, and that's way off the mark. And that's better defense by GUNMA Crane Thunders. So with 4:45 to go, down by 12, we're going to have a timeout as these two teams will talk it over. B.LEAGUE basketball, we're live here in the city of Ota in GUNMA Prefecture. Eastern Conference Battle Titans. Well, Battle of the Titans, 25 points tonight for Christopher Smith. And that is why he's the certified walking bucket. We'll return in just under 1 minute. Final 4 minutes, 43 seconds left. GUNMA down by 12. They've got to find a way back in this one. So even if GUNMA do lose today, I'm not saying they will lose it. They'll still remain in second place here in the East. Nice pass. CHIBA pump fakes. Foul's going to be called against John Mooney, so free throws coming up now here for Johannes Thiemann. This is better from GUNMA, trying to find Johannes Thiemann inside the paint. I don't think that should be upgraded at all. I think that's a natural foul that's happened where John Mooney unfortunately is up in the air. It's a great job by the officials not to think about upgrading this one because there's nothing else Mooney could do in that scenario. Well, Trey McKinney-Jones, their leading scorer with only 5 points tonight. He's had a very tough one, but now is the time for him to try and catch fire. 12 points, not the biggest margin in the world, but with 4:29, time isn't on GUNMA's side. Missed free throw from Johannes Thiemann. Well, if you look at the free throw count here tonight, GUNMA Crane Thunders, they've only missed 5 free throws. Grand scheme of things, that would only make it a 7-point ball game, but you got to make all your free throws at this stage. Second one good. 11-point deficit. Togashi now with the ball in his hands. Finds Hata. Now Watanabe penetrates. Goes in, good defense. The jump ball is going to be called, and I think that's going to go to CHIBA. I don't believe that's going to be a reset of the shot clock to 14. It's going to remain at 5, but good defense here by Trey McKinney-Jones. Well, CHIBA's got to go quickly. Smith, deep three is up, no good. Hara with the offensive board. Mooney now trying to post up. Good defense by Fuji, comes up with it. But they gotta find a bucket here. And slowed down in the transition, couldn't get anything. The offense very static. Thiemann pick and pop, mid-range, and that's way too short, but he's able to save it. But it doesn't fall in the hands of any GUNMA Crane Thunder player. Final seconds now for Smith. Finds Togashi, 3 is up. Smith, another offensive board. Well, GUNMA's got 3 minutes. They're down 11. Got to make this 3. A little short. Goes out of bounds, but GUNMA will get it back. And it's almost like GUNMA just can't find ways to score at the moment.
Technical foul, Thunder's bench.
Well, GUNMA Crane Thunder is getting called for a technical foul on the bench. So I'm not sure what was said, but Daigo Udashima, one of the best referees in Japan and one of the best referees in the world, teeing up the GUNMA Crane Thunder's bench. Togashi makes the free throw. Well, down 12 with now under 3 minutes. It's now or never here for GUNMA. They've got to rally together. Find Trey McKinney-Jones. Osakawa in the corner. Back to Fuji. Fuji penetrates. Well, probably had the penetration. Went for the mid-range. Loose ball goes out of bounds. Chiba will get it back with 2:43. Not looking good for Gunma Crane Thunders. Well, there's a loose ball. Could argue Johannes team. Wow, that's very, very tough. Now Tagashi pulls up mid-range, and again, sinks it, buries it, and may have just said, Ayasu Minasai, good night. Tagashi really stepping it up here in the second half. All of his points indeed have come in the second half. Well, the timeout's called by Cal Milling. We will be back in just under 60 seconds. Well, down 16, and it's going to possibly be the third defeat for Gunma Crane Thunders against Chiba Jets. The last time they met, Gunma did actually win. The only time they've defeated the Jets this season, an Eastern Conference battle. And even if Jets win, it doesn't mean they'll move up into second place. Now it's an 18-point ball game. There'll still be one victory behind the Gunma Crane Thunders. Usami and Brex holding onto that top position. Suji splits the defense. This offense just hasn't had enough productivity here in the second half. Fuji fires a three. Cuts it down. And that does cut it down to a 13-point deficit. I got it wrong. If it was 18, it was a 16-point lead to Chiba at that point. And now we're just over 90 seconds left. Again, the +1's going to count as John Moody will now go to the free throw line. Time was winding down. He was able to finish. Tough move by the former Notre Dame Fighting Irish player. The foul was on Alan Hachimura. Again, it's not the worst defeat in the world here for Gunma Crane Thunders because, as mentioned, they still hold on to that second position. But if these two teams do get tied on the same record, Chiba would indeed actually finish above Gunma. But even still, with these records that these two teams have, they'll be qualifying for the B.LEAGUE playoffs. And we could very well see them play against each other in the postseason. Who knows? Trey McKinney Jones finds Yuma Fuji. Hasakawa wide open in the corner, unable to convert the three, as now we're just about to hit the minute mark. Well, the disappointing thing for Gunma, in the last 7 days, they played the very best in the East, and they played the team right below them in third place. Both Brex. Brex won here narrowly last week. Gunma almost came back and won that one. But Chiba have won convincingly here, no doubt about it. As Watanabe turns it over, and everything a consolation here now for Gunma. Hasakawa, another three. Not gonna go. Hachimura secures the rebound. Hasakawa tries another one. Third time lucky as Fuji, 3 3-point attempts and unable to knock any of them down. 3 seconds difference between game and shot clock. Watanabe defended by Hachimura. Watanabe, I think, showing his respect and not going for it. Well, maybe he's going to go for a shot attempt. He may have just injured himself, and that's a worrying sign for CHIBA. The last thing they need is another injury. Remember, Yuta Watanabe injured himself in the opening game of the regular season when he landed on the ankle of Makoto Hiyajima. I'm not sure what happened here. Well, it's nothing that Hachimura did, that's for sure. A worrying sign for the Jets fans and Jets players and coaching staff. He's just pulled a muscle. But again, worrying sign of the superstar player. If it's a calf muscle, he's holding onto Achilles, but that is a very worrying sign. Well, hopefully he's going to be okay. That's the most important thing, but it doesn't look good there for Yuta Watanabe. Well, Naoki Tashido coming back in the game for the Jets. Well, that's going to be a 24-second violation, so GUNMA will have to dribble the last 2.9 seconds out, and CHIBA showing respect to their opponents, and I think the more worrying concern at the moment is hopefully Yuta Watanabe is okay, because we are getting closer and closer to the postseason, and also a big summer for Akatsuki Japan, the national team, as they'll participate in the 2025 FIBA Asia Cup. Well, fingers crossed, and hopefully all is well for Watanabe. Well, there's the three-pointer, and that will do it. CHIBA Jets, they defeat the team that sit right above them here in the Eastern Conference, the GUNMA Crane Thunders, as they win 86-70. Terrific game as always from Christopher Smith, who could very well end up as the B.LEAGUE most valuable player this season. But collectively, the Jets were great tonight. Not too much of a panic mode, though, from GUNMA Crane Thunders. They still sit in second place in that automatic playoff position. And even if they finish second or third of one of these two teams, most likely one of them will end up with the wild card and get into the B.LEAGUE playoffs. Well, Togashi was phenomenal in the second half. His points, probably in my mind, was the difference. Smith got it going in the first half. Togashi ended the game in the second half. And CHIBA took the win. Well, we are going to look at the game stats for the next games. GUNMA will be hosting Koshigaya Alphas, while CHIBA will be on the road this Saturday as they'll take on the Shiga Lakes. Well, we are going to hear from Coach Trevor Gleason. We'll also hear from the game's most valuable player, which we're yet to find out who it's going to be. And then we'll review the highlights and look back at the best moments and stats from this game, but nonetheless, a terrific victory for the Kings of Funabashi, the B.LEAGUE champions of 2021, in search of their second ever Japanese B.LEAGUE championship. It could very well be the Jets this season, but we'll find out as we head into the postseason. I think we are going to hear very quickly from Trevor Gleeson. I think he's ready for the interview, so we will go down here that when we have a Japanese player. Well, let's go listen now. We're going to hear very
千葉
quickly.
ジェッツトレバー・グリソンヘッドコーチのインタビューです。チャンピオンシップ進出へ向けて大きな一勝だったと思います。この勝利どう受け止めていますか？
How that win today?
Yeah, it was nice and physical. We knew it was a big game for us, so just with the win-loss and the point spread. So I'm happy the guys really dug in deep and played some great team basketball.
はい、本当にフィジカルなビッグゲームになったかなと思います。特にやっぱり勝敗数だったり得失点差のところが結構大事になってくる試合だったので、みんながフィジカルに戦ってくれて本当に良かったです。
千葉の試合巧者ぶりも見えたそんなゲームだったと思います。勝利のポイント特にどこにあったと思いますか？
Point, what would you think was the turning point to get this win at the end?
I just think our defense was pretty solid. We started to dry up easy points for them, and I don't know the rebounding count, but I thought we did a great job on the rebounds.
はい、やっぱりソリッドなディフェンスをチームで全体通してできたことが一番でかかったかなと思います。やっぱイージーポイントをしっかり止め切って、リバウンドはまだスタッツは見てないんですけども、リバウンドもしっかりチーム取り切ったのは大きいかなと思いました。
瀬川選手のような若い選手も活躍しました。今後に向けて収穫も大きかったんじゃないでしょうか。
Experience for him, how was that?
Yeah, look, he's a young fella, 18. He's got a lot of talent, but still has to learn how to be a professional. So he gave us some great energy in the second quarter. Other teams are getting after him, but he's doing well.
はい、やっぱりまだ18歳という若い選手なんですけど、まだまだ学ばないといけないところがありながらも、やっぱり2クォーターでいうふうにエナジーを出してチームを引っ張ってくれたことは本当に大きいことだと思いますので、まだまだ成長は期待できると思います。
ありがとうございました。
Well, there you heard head coach Trevor Gleeson speaking very highly of Riku Sagawa. Of course, is going to definitely be a shout-out and a future prospect for the Akatsuki Japan. Well, thank you to Coco Puff. Thank you for the kind words, my friend. And again, hopefully see you soon for more B.LEAGUE games here on B.LEAGUE International. Let's listen now to Riku Sagawa, 18 years of age.
大きな一勝だったと思います。今日の試合振り返っていかがでしょうか？
そうですね、やっぱり今までとやってきた相手とは違うようなレベルの相手で、やっぱりチャンピオンシップに出るチームっていうのは本当に全然ディフェンスの強度も違いましたし、そういった中でもう少し冷静に判断できる部分があったかなというふうに反省しています。
それでもこの直接対決を制したこの一勝の意味どう感じていますか？
やっぱり10位にとってこの一勝というのは本当に大きいと思いますし、チームとして勝ちきれた部分は非常に良かったんですけど、やっぱりチームとしてもまだ個人としても課題点がたくさんあるので、そういったところを改善していきたいと思います。
その課題も見据えた中で今後シーズン終盤に向けてどんな姿を見せていきたいでしょうか？
本当に負けていい試合は一つもないと思っているので、しっかりと全部勝ち切って自分はしっかり18歳としてアグレッシブにできることがあると思うので、しっかりとチームに貢献できるように頑張りたいと思います。
ありがとうございました。瀬川陸選手でした。
Well, we're going to get that translated for you. Riku Sagawa, of course, talking about today's game was a very tough one for him, and he thinks he could do better, and that's what you want to hear from a young 18-year-old. Let's listen now to the $1 million player, Yuki Togashi.
はい、本当に大きな一勝だと、一勝ですけど、それ以上の、価値がある今日の試合だったので、本当にチームとして、負けられない戦いとしっかり全員が戦う気持ちを持って戦った結果かなと思います。
第1クォーターはリードされながらでしたが、そこからは盤石の試合運びにも見えました。勝因、特にどんなところが大きいと感じられてますか？
自分たちが相手チームのスカウティングをしている中でやられていいところ、やられてはいけないところという話があった中で、しっかりと、ちょっと辻選手のスリーポイント以外はしっかり徹底できたのかなと思いますし、残り15試合ちょっと一つでも本当に順位を上げてチャンピオンシップ出れるように頑張っていきたいなと思います。
そのチャンピオンシップ進出に向けて特にどんな姿、そして何が大事になっていくでしょうか？
どうですかね、今日最後、雄太がちょっと退場してしまいましたけど、まずやっぱりチームとして今シーズンは怪我に泣いているというかシーズンなので、まず怪我人をこれ以上出さずに、チームとして万全な状態でやっぱ5月チャンピオンシップを迎えるのが一番かなと思います。
ありがとうございました。富樫勇樹選手でした。
Well, before we translate what Yuki Togashi just said, we'll go one last thing that was said by Riku Sagawa. Sagawa did say it was a big game, but he also acknowledged as a young 18-year-old that if Chiba are going to win a second B-League championship, they've got to play better than today. Well, Togashi, He remarked on the victory. This was more than just one win. The third victory for Chiba Jets against GUNMA Thunders. Because he felt they played very well, but the difference that he felt was defense. Naoto Tsuji had a very good perimeter shooting game. And you like what you hear from both the veteran Yuki Togashi and the young Riku Sagawa. Very powerful words. Well, GUNMA Thunders, they'll be in action on Saturday as they'll be taking on Koshigai Alphas here at home. While Chiba Jets, also on Saturday, they'll be on the road in the south in Ota, Japan. The beautiful city of Ota, they'll be facing the Shiga Lakes. Well, we are going to take a look at some of the key highlights from this game, and then we'll run back the best statistics. But what a phenomenal performance from the Chiba Jets. Third victory out of 4. The final time they'll play GUNMA Thunders this season. And who knows, we could very well see them in the B.LEAGUE playoffs as we head closer and closer to the postseason. Well, again, great game. Two of the very best here in the Eastern Conference, no doubt, battling it out here in B.LEAGUE regular season, trying to get that playoff supremacy. Remember, the top 2 teams in each conference will automatically qualify for the B.LEAGUE playoffs. And as it stands here in the Eastern Conference, Utsunomiya Brex, #1, followed up by GUNMA Thunders. And then it is the Chiba Jets. Well, in the East, West, and Central Conference, the 2 teams with the best records outside of the top 2 will make up the final 2 positions in the playoffs, and that is known as the wild card. So most likely, we're going to see probably both GUNMA Thunders and Chiba Jets in the playoffs, because if one team finishes in second place, the team who finishes below will most likely have the better record of all the 3 conferences. Well, terrific game tonight. I think the one thing that probably let down GUNMA Thunders was the inactive 3-point shooting, which we're accustomed to seeing them have. I mean, they are a 28% 3-point shooting team, but they just weren't able to convert enough 3-pointers tonight. Well, here are the highlights from the game. It was Yuma Fuji who got things going very early from the perimeter. Of course, Fuji did finish with 3 3-point attempts. I think the more worrying concern for tonight's game is hopefully Yuki Togashi is not too badly injured. We did see him have to leave the court. Well, we'll try to get more update on Yuta Watanabe, not Togashi, my apologies. Well, if it's one thing that the Jets did very well, they took care of the offensive rebounds with perfection, excuse me. Because GUNMA had a very good 3-point shooting first quarter, but after that, they just weren't able to convert as many 3-pointers in the second half. Flipping. That time, drilling the 3 in the corner. And here was Togashi from the mid-range. Watanabe, my apologies. Well, Naoto Tsuji, 4 3-pointers, had a very good game, but just wasn't enough in terms of GUNMA trying to hang in there with the one-time B.LEAGUE champions, the Chiba Jets. But what a performance on Christopher Smith. How many AM1s did this man have tonight? He's simply too much to handle. And that was DJ Hogan in the corner, burying the 3-pointer, the assist coming from C. Smith. Well, that time Fuji getting another 3-pointer. Nice take by young 18-year-old Riku Sagawa. Well, here's what the Jets do so well. They force you to turn it over, but then they're very good at getting the ball out in transition, and C. Smith exemplifying the Showtime Chiba basketball. Well, the Togashi John Mooney pick and roll caused GUNMA's defense too many problems in the first half, and even dimes like this from Togashi. You know he's a great point guard because he knows where his teammates' bread and butter is at all times on the floor, and here is again. That time Mooney getting the AM1, the foul against Parker. And it was the final shot of the first half. Smith, 3 in the corner, taking his tally up to 14 points at that moment. Because Smith just had a game of games tonight for the Jets. Finishing with 25 in total. 5 rebounds, 4 assists for Christopher Smith. And Smith just continued to light it up. I mean, he was indestructible. Well, you kind of felt in the third quarter that bucket from Trey McKinney-Jones were going to change the fortunes of GUNMA, but it just wasn't meant to be. Well, DJ Hogue having some good moments, but it's the dimes from Togashi the difference. Well, this 4-0 run kind of inspired GUNMA Crane Thunders, led by one Ko Flippin', but then it was Togashi time. Second half, Yuki-san just stepped up and played a better tempo. Well, here was the excellent play again. Naoto Tsuji hitting another three-point. This was the 7-0 run that they went on. And you were kind of hoping at that point, maybe GUNMA were going to be able to push and come back in this one. Well, that was the play by Tsuji. That was the beginning of the fourth quarter. It was plays like this, you've got to try to build as much momentum on as possible, but consistency was a problem. Here's the and one by Christopher Smith, the foul in transition. And he went to the free throw line yet again for another and one. Well, the 1 3-pointer coming from Johannes Thiemann. They just didn't get enough dominant points from both Thiemann and Trey McKinney-Jones. Tazuski that time finishing, getting the and one, and also converting that play as well. But Chiba's dominance, Yuki was on fire. Smith again, another and one. Well, he might as well be Mr. and one mixtape. But that was Togashi's mid-range, and that was indeed good night, Ayasu Minasai. Well, we'll take a look at the game statistics at this point. We're live here in the city of Ota. So 8 3-pointers coming from the Chiba Jets, 10 made in total from GUNMA Crane Thunders, just above their 28 percentage they usually have. But 41 rebounds, 12 of those coming from the offensive end. And interestingly, GUNMA had less turnovers than the Chiba Jets. Well, 21 free throw attempts kind of tells you the difference. The points in the paint was just too dominant from Chiba. I mean, Chiba collectively had 42 points inside the key. Only 24 for GUNMA Crane Thunders. GUNMA also only put out 4 fast break points. They did get a total of 38 bench points, which was more than the Chiba Jets. But Jets had 12 fast break points, 10 second chance points, and 14 points from turnovers. And that is how the game ended up. Chiba, rightfully so, just too dominant. And could we see the Jets go on to win the second B.LEAGUE championship? We'll look now at individual stats from this game. Christopher Smith leading all scorers at 25 points. Naoto Tsuji led the GUNMA Crane Thunders with 15. Johannes Thiemann leading the assist count tonight with 6. While Togashi also chipped in 5 assists. Watanabe also finished with 8 rebounds, but again, my hopes are right now with with Watanabe that he's not too badly injured, and hopefully he's okay. Well, we'll try to keep you updated to see how that one goes on. But as it stands indeed, and as we mentioned, it is going to be another victory, and it gets Chiba Jets from one win of catching up to the GUNMA Crane Thunders here in the Eastern Conference. Well, we'll take a look at the key fixtures. On Saturday, Akita Northern Happy Nets will be facing Fighting Eagles Nagoya. Sun Rockers Shibuya will host Shimane Susanna Magic. Yokohama B Corsairs will take on Saga Ballooners. Shiga Lakes will host Chiba Jets. Hiroshima Dragonflies, defending champions, will take on Senda 89ers. Hokkaido Lavenga will host Nagoya Diamond Dolphins in the north of Japan. Baraki Robots will be hosting Alvak Tokyo. Utsunomiya Brex, the two best teams, will go up against each other as they will host San Antonio Phoenix. GUNMA will take on Koshigaya. Mikawa Seahorses will host Ruku Golden Kings, the best in the West, while Kyoto Hanaris will take on Nagasaki Velka. The final game will see Kawasaki Brave Thunders, who've had a very tough season. They will host Osaka Avesa. Well, those games will all be live this weekend on the 22nd and the 23rd of March this weekend here in the B-League. Well, fans, unfortunately, it is that time of day where we have to say thank you for joining us here on B-League International. But for now, it's good night, goodbye, and God bless. Arigatou gozaimasu. Sayonara. Ayasu minasai. Jamata. Watashi no tomodachi. We'll see you soon for more games here in the B-League.